This is a Good Wolf Talk. I'm Harry Cunliffe with Two Wolves. If you've watched the past few segments, you know that I'm in New York City, and on Saturday night was the memorial service for my godfather James. It was a fabulous service. It was very much the sort of service he would have wanted, interfaith in nature. Here we were at the Episcopal Cathedral in New York City, and the first speaker to read a scripture was an imam, and he read from the Quran, first in Arabic and then in English. The second reader was a rabbi, and he read from the Torah, and again first in Hebrew and then in English. The third person up in the pulpit was a Russian Orthodox priest from Canada, who the Morton family knew from having a cabin up in a very remote area in Quebec, and he sang a psalm, part of the psalm. There was a Catholic writer who gave part of the eulogy, and an Episcopal minister who gave another part of the eulogy. There were massive drums being played at times during the service, just fabulous sort of pounding of these massive sort of, I don't know if they're African or South American drums, but just fabulous. And then Paul Winter, who's a fabulous clarinet player, played a piece that was one of James's favorites and that used to be played as part of a concert every winter at the cathedral, which is actually called Wolf Eyes. And it's just a really amazing piece, and in the middle of it there's actually wolves howling in a soundtrack at the back. And I remember concerts at the cathedral back in the 80s where Paul Winter would play this, and there'd be maybe 3,000, 5,000 people at the concert in the cathedral, and he'd have them all howling like wolves. So to be in this Episcopal cathedral with 5,000 howling wolves was always a remarkable experience. I wanted to share that he was my spiritual mentor, and I feel like he had one more lesson to share with me, which was in the middle of the service. Something triggered a memory of a time I was at the cathedral when I was 15, first visiting America since leaving it as a 20-month-old. And I realized that what I'd experienced at the cathedral when I was 15 in this one situation was a spiritual experience. I'd been very moved listening to the cathedral organist, Paul Halley, who's a brilliant organist, playing fantastic, loud organ music. I wish I could remember the name of the piece, but very dramatic piece, classical piece. With those of us at the cathedral was about 20 teens, and we were all sitting at least 20, 30 feet from each other in the pitch black. And there was this silence until finally this crashing start to this fabulous classical piece, and feeling the vibration of the massive organ pipes that had this incredible vibration in the low notes. I remember being just really moved and inspired, and not knowing really anything more than that at the time. But looking back on it now, I realized that I'd been very lonely, insecure, and I needed and wanted God or higher power, etc. And I didn't think of it in those terms at all at the time. But looking back now, it feels very much like it was a spiritual moment of peace and feeling of something much bigger than me. So I just wanted to share that, and maybe help all of us remember that We need to be open to seeing possibility and open to seeing the way our higher powers or gods may be reaching out to us or present for us. And certainly on Saturday night, the whole concert, that memory and understanding were very much good wolf experiences.